I am sick and tired of my subscribers telling me, Maze, I suck at Madden. What do I do?
A little help, please.
So I made a full defensive ebook. This here is part 1. Also, a lot of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So if you like videos like this one, do me a favor, go down and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It's free. You can always unsubscribe at a future time if you feel like you made a mistake. Enjoy the video. If you guys are sick of wasting money on packs, go check out my sponsor. They offer the cheapest and most reliable way to buy coins straight from the source. Use code MAZE at checkout for 15% off your entire order. So in today's video, we're going to be starting my defensive ebook series here on the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, I run the 4-6 defensive ebook, and what I'm going to be going over in the next series of videos is without a doubt the #1 defense in Madden right now. What we're going to be going over is nickel 3-3-5 wide, and just about every top level player is running this or some variation of this. I'm going to go over all the nuances in this video. I believe it's going to be 3 parts, and like I said, this is part 1 right here. So starting off the ebook, we're going to be going over personnel, and this is very, very important. So if you don't run this scheme already, pay close attention. As I said, I'm in the 4-6 defensive playbook. The reason for that is it has both nickel 3-3-5 and nickel 3-3-5 wide. The reason this is important is because every single time I'm going to come out of the huddle in nickel 3-3-5 normal, and then right as the play starts, I'm going to audible to nickel 3-3-5 wide. This might seem counterintuitive and like a waste of time, but the reason I do this is because nickel 3-3-5 enables you to sub in defensive backs all over the field. Other than the down lineman, everybody's a defensive back. So in nickel 3-3-5, I have 8 DBs on the field, and nickel 3-3-5 wide, you're just not able to do that. So by audibling from 3-3-5 normal to 3-3-5 wide, we are getting the personnel advantages from 3-3-5 normal and the overall better formation of 3-3-5 wide, at least my opinion. Now, this is the way I run it. I don't think that's 100% necessary, though. For example, if you run the New York Giants defensive playbook and you want to run big dime 1-4-6, because this playbook doesn't have big dime 1-4-6, but the Giants playbook does, then you simply have to come out in regular 3-3-5 wide and put lurker on your outside linebackers, because if they're going to be in pass coverage without lurker, they're definitely a liability. But once they get lurker, they play more close to DBs and they make better plays on the ball. So just keep that in mind with your abilities if you are going to be running just regular 3-3-5. But if you're running it the same way I do, you're going to want to be in the 4-6 playbook, and you're going to audible from 3-3-5 normal to 3-3-5 wide every time. Additionally, for abilities, what I run is one step ahead on my outside linebackers. So right here where Rashawn Golden is, and then where Eric Harris is, those would be one step ahead safeties. What I'm using right now, I got Eric Berry and Ronnie Lott. Those guys both have close to 99 man coverage, and with one step ahead, it's only 3 AP or 6 AP on each of them. You can easily fit that in, and it makes this scheme come to life. My other 3 AP are used on mid-zone KO, on the outside corners and the slot corner. So basically, what I run is 2 one-step aheads and then 3 mid-zone KOs, and that's it for my abilities on defense. As for our audibles out of nickel 3-3-5 wide, we're able to change those to whatever we want. The ones I like are cover 2 man, Mike Blitz 0, cover 4 show 2, and Mike Blitz 3. Now, cover 4 show 2, I also sometimes run Tampa 2, but I don't really need that to be an audible because I can easily audible to cover 2 man and then manually adjust it into a cover 2 zone. But in today's video, we're basically going to be focusing on cover 3 and the cover 3 shell. That's the bulk of this defense, and Mike Blitz 3 is the best cover 3 in my opinion to adjust out of. So Mike Blitz 3 is the main audible you're going to really want to focus on, and that's what we're going to be focusing on primarily in today's video. So to recap one more time before we hop into the actual coverage portion of the video, we're going to be coming out in nickel 3-3-5 normal every single time. You want to make sure you got 8 DBs on the field. I like to have my 3 safeties in here in the box, and then the other 5 DBs on the field are going to be cornerbacks. And then once again, you're going to want one step ahead on those outside linebackers because they're going to come down to the line, and you're going to be able to man them up to whoever you want on the field. You can cross-man them. You can put them across 360 behind the back. It doesn't really matter. Cornerbacks, you can't do that. They can only really man up on someone who's on the same side of their field, but the safeties, when they're on the line of scrimmage, can man up to anybody, and that's a huge advantage. So as I said, I'm going to be coming out in Tampa 2 out of nickel 3-3-5. This does not really matter because we're going to be audibling, and then on offense, we're going to be going against something very common, and that will be gun bunch. So here we are on the field. As you can see, we're still in that Tampa 2, and the first thing we're going to want to do every single time is press square, put your D-pad to the left, and that's going to change it to nickel 3-3-5 wide, and from there, you choose the play you want. I told you guys we're going to be operating out of Mike Blitz 3 today, so that's R1. And once you get down to muscle memory, it's literally a split second and you're already here audible. But as you can see, we're now in nickel 3-3-5 wide. Our safeties, Golden and Eric Harris, came down to the line of scrimmage, and that's what our play art is going to look like stock and then we're going to adjust from here. So the middle linebacker right here is going to be the one you're using every single time, and if we look at our play stock, we actually got default zone drops and seam flats. So that means these seam flats are going to play match coverage. And that can be a little bit confusing, and it's sometimes nice to throw the seam flats stock in there as they are to throw off your opponent. But that's not really what I want my base defense to be, just because seam flats are a little bit confusing and I don't really know how to rely on them and interact with them as with my user as easily. So we're not really going to want the seam flats. Honestly, the most simple setup I can think of is just press, put your guys in cloud flats. Is basically you shade underneath, triangle down on the right stick, then shade over top, and that's going to change those seam flats to cloud flats. Then I'm going to spread and crash my line out. That's going to take away that 1-3 rec we had from our linemen. But basically, there is a very simple coverage shell. We got cloud flats that are conservative. They're going to play the flats okay. They're going to play deep okay. And we got 5 guys rushing. So this is a little bit more of an aggressive look. So to go over those adjustments once again, you're going to audible first to Mike Blitz, and you're going to spread and crash and put your guys in cloud flats. And that's really what your defense should look like. And then if you wait right here by the D tackle and they send out 5 routes, the cool thing about this defense is that you're going to have a guy coming in free just about every single time. So they're going to have to block 6. They can't really send out 5 comfortably because you see your user kind of wreaks a little bit of havoc. We already have 5 pass rushers coming in, and if your user comes in here and you just kind of distract, like you see 66 was just distracted by our user a little bit, didn't pick up anybody else, and then because of that, we actually had 2 guys coming in free. We had 33, and then we also had someone coming off the edge here. And overall, that's just going to cause problems because they're going to have to block their running back all the time. So once again, that is the most simple coverage shell we can give you. It's just a cover 3 with cloud flats. So once again, audible to Mike Blitz 3, spread your line, crash them out, and then shade underneath and shade over the top. And that's what you got. And then another thing you can do if you have time is bring this guy right in here. And I noticed that the run game plays a lot better when you got this guy in the box as well. So Heath, this cloud flat over here, he's going to make his way out to the sideline anyways. But I just noticed it's a little bit more confusing for everybody. And you can see we get that pressure right again. They can't send out 5 routes if you're playing like this. They're really not. It's going to give them a lot of problems. So that is one way that is very simple to run this cover 3. I'm going to show you guys another one. Audible once again to Mike Blitz. This time we're going to slide right and crash out. We're going to press again. We're going to play hard flats this time. And we're actually going to send the slot corner on a blitz. The way we did that was double tap triangle, chose L1, which is a slot corner, and then down on the right stick is blitz. So now we got 6 guys blitzing, and let's say they're starting to catch on and block their running back. So they're blocking 6. We got 6 rushing. Another thing you can do is you can bring your user down on a user rush. You're going to scream right up the A gap. And if they pick up your user, you got a guy looping it on the side. So even though that is very, very, very aggressive, it is going to be something you can throw in there to catch your opponents off guard. That's not something I would do very often because as you saw, the flats were open. There's a few things open over the middle. It's a heavy blitz, but if you're throwing it in there sporadically, they're not going to be expecting it. They're not going to be ready for it. And a lot of times you're going to get a quick sack. So to go over the adjustments for the blitz one more time, we're going to audible once again to Mike Blitz 3. We're going to slide our line to the right, crash them up, press and blitz the slot corner. It's going to look like that. And then you can put your guys in hard flats. That's just shading underneath. That's triangle down on the right stick if you didn't know. And then when they hike the ball, you can come down screaming through here if you want. Dive at the quarterback, get a quick sack. Or you could actually even drop back into coverage and hope that the blitz comes in on its own. I'll show you what that will look like if they block the running back. We're going to call Mike Blitz 3. Slide right, crash out, blitz the slot corner. That's what your defense looks like. So we're going to show you if, let's just say you decide to not use a rush. You see, we still had a guy come in free because we did distract the line a little bit. Now, I'm going to show you guys one more setup you can do without setting any of your zone drops. And so, once again, you're going to audible to Mike Blitz 3. You can crash out. You can do whatever you want with your O-line, whatever you think is going to get you the most pressure. I usually like to slide to the running back and crash out. This is going to actually help you in the run game. You can shoot a lot of inside zones and stuff like that, depending on what formation you're going against. But then, once again, we're going to turn those into cloud flats. We're going to shade down and over the top, make those cloud flats. And we're actually going to put our outside linebackers invert hooks. Now, again, we're only rushing 3 here, so the pressure's not going to be coming in. But overall, this is a very, very good coverage defense. You got 3 zones in the middle, including your user, and then 2 cloud flats on the outside, which are pretty neutral. And if you do play good coverage over the middle and play well with your user, not much is going to be open, and you got to hope that a shed is going to come in with that 3-man pass rush. So once again, I'm going to audible one more time to Mike Blitz 3. I'm going to go towards the running back, crash out, press, turn him into cloud flats, and put your outside linebackers in vert hooks. This is, once again, just another look that would confuse your opponent. These all relatively look the same from the offensive perspective, and they don't really know who's going to drop into what zone. So once again, when you hike the ball, you just got to use her over the middle, whatever's free. R1 could have been open, but there was no clear route, and they're not usually going to have as much time. I feel like block sheds happen pretty frequently in this game. So even with a 3-man pass rush, a lot of the time, you're going to end up getting a shed. Now, I told you guys, if you slide your line to the running back and crash out, it's going to enable you to shoot a lot of gaps in the run game right up that A gap the same way we user rushed. However, if you know they're not going to be running the ball, I would recommend spreading and crashing your line just like we did in that first setup, and then you can put these guys in whatever you want as well. But with a 3-man pass rush, if you're spread and crashed outwards, a lot of times the sheds are going to be better, especially if you come and hover and kind of distract. You see 96 is already coming in there. There we go. Good shit, baby. Piggybacking off this last setup, this is where we can start to utilize the one step aheads. So far, everything I've shown you is just all zone coverage with default zone drops. But as I told you, Galden and Eric Harris right here in MUT are going to have one step ahead for us. So once we audible to Mike Blitz 3, we can start to utilize those as well. So we're going to spread and crash our line, press again, cloud flats again. So it almost looks identical to that first setup. But then you can also man up these outside cornerbacks wherever you want. For example, if you want to cross man the tight end, a lot of people like to put the tight end on crossers in this game. And a cross man one step ahead from this outside linebacker is going to negate that crosser almost entirely. And then another good thing is just manning up this outside linebacker on the slot receiver right here, with the R1 receiver. That R1 receiver is kind of the heart and soul of Gun Bunch. And so one of the most popular setups people run out of Gun Bunch is this right here. And I'll show it to you. This right here is probably the most popular setup out of Gun Bunch. And if you don't have zone drops, that R1 post, or a corner route, I mean, is a lot of times going to get over the top. But if you man that up, there's no shot. So if we hike it, let me see if I can hike it. You see, there's nothing he can throw there based on the coverage we just gave him. So that's not even with one step ahead. Now, obviously, the sheds aren't coming in. Jesus Christ, Tua's got all day back there. Oh, my God, look at that freaking pocket. Are you kidding me? But again, if we look at the replay at this play, I told you guys, this is probably the most popular Gun Bunch setup, and you're going to see nothing is open. Even though, if it was man coverage alone, he probably would have beat his man. You could have thrown it to the outside. But even though this cloud flat is not that deep, he's covering both the out route and he's underneath enough to where this can't be a low-balled corner route or pass let down or anything. So we got somebody over the top, we got somebody underneath, and that negates the corner route. We got a deep zone for the streak. This guy's getting covered by the cloud flat. He can't really throw that. And then you're obviously going to cover the backside with your user. One thing you want to look out for, a lot of people have playmaker on this backside guy, so just be aware of that. And if he does have playmaker, be ready to cut underneath and start running the opposite direction as well. So once again, I'll go over that again for you guys briefly. What you're going to do is audible to Mike Blitz 3, spread and crash your line, put him in cloud flats, which is, shade underneath, shade over the top, and then you can man up the outside guys, the outside linebackers on whoever you want. To man them up, you double tap the D-pad to the right. It's going to bring up all your linebackers on the field. That's square, triangle, and X. You can press square. Up on the right stick is man coverage. You can put them on whoever you want on this field. We're going to put them on square this time. And then do it again. Double tap. Press X this time. Up for man coverage. And we're going to choose R1. So that might seem like a lot of adjustments, but I'm telling you guys, once you get the muscle memory down, this thing, you just fly. You get it done in like 3 or 4 seconds, and there's not really an opportunity to get quick hiked if you're playing like this. So between this and then mixing in those other heavier coverages I showed you, they're not going to know what to expect if you're actually mixing it up the way you should be. And so for this final setup, I'm going to show you for this cover 3 portion of the ebook, we're going to go to coaching adjustments, and this is where you're going to want to set your zone drops. I put my flats at 20 or 25. If they're in trips tight end, it's going to be 25 every time. If it's bunch, I'm usually going to keep it at 20. But if they start beating you right over the top of your zone drops, you might want to deepen it to 25. So we're going to go to 25 for now, and then our curl flats are going to be set to 5. So you can probably already tell where this is going. We're going to start doing a double Mabel defense. What that means is if we come out in the exact same play, again, nickel 3-3-5, Tampa 2, and then on offense, we are going to go back to gun bunch and just run the exact same thing we were running. What a Mabel is having 2 flats on the same side to cover the shallow flat and the deeper flat. So what we're going to do is call Mike Blitz 3 again. And you see, currently we only have 1 flat on each side, and that's his purple seam flat. Joyner right here is in a seam flat, and so is Heath. What we want to do is have 2 flats on each side. So once again, press, shade underneath, crash your line out, spread them, and then you can put the outside linebackers in curl flats. And now look at that. We got 2 flats on each side, covering the shallow and deep. You're going to use her over the middle. And this right here is the bread and butter of this defense. This is literally the most common and most effective defense in the game right now. Additionally, if you really want to get sweaty, you can put your D tackle in a spy, or you can put one of your outside guys in a vert hook. Now, you're only sending 2, and when you hike the ball, it's going to be incredibly difficult to find anything open. As you see right here, there's literally not a thing open. However, you only rush 2, so your user's going to really need to be on point to avoid broken plays because this guy's going to have a lot of time in the pocket. Now, every now and then, you're going to end up getting a shed. In practice mode, it's looking like it's never going to happen. Eventually, you get a shed. Eventually, you get a tackle. But what's going to happen most of the time is they're going to roll out. You can send somebody at them by pressing R3, or they're going to try to force a pass, and it's going to make a mistake. So once again, taking a look at this defense, you're going to see these outside linebackers are in 5-yard curl flats. So they're just going to slowly drift to the sideline, cover anything shallow, and we got that covered on both sides. We also got 25-yard flats from these guys, and they're going to cover any corner routes. You see on both sides of the field, they're covering these guys. You might be able to throw this underneath, and if they start hitting you underneath, that's when you're going to want to adjust your zone drops to 20 instead of 25, because again, sometimes you can fit in these passes underneath if you're playing a really good player. And then, of course, you got to rely on your user over the middle to cover whatever they got coming over the middle. And then, of course, the wild card is you guys can do any combination of the 4 or 5 setups I just showed you. If you want to man up one side, double Mabel on the other, you guys can do whatever you want. The whole point of this is understanding the concepts and the different options you have adjusting out of this defense. I'm going to show you guys right now one of the most complicated setups that I just did, that last double Mabel, how fast I can audible. I'm going to show you how long it takes me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And I'm already done. Look it. That literally took me less than 3 seconds. So if you're worried about getting quick hiked, once you get those adjustments down, this is going to be like muscle memory. It's between audibling to getting everybody set in their adjustments, it should take you no longer than 3 seconds if you really know what you're doing. So right now, briefly, I'm going to be going over all the different setups I showed you guys throughout this video. To start, just the very simple one, you're going to spread your line, crash them out, press, and then put your outside guys in cloud flats. The way you do that, again, is by shading underneath and then over the top. Shading underneath makes it a hard flat, and then once you shade a hard flat up, it makes it a cloud flat. That's why you have to do that. And then if you hide right here, again, you're going to have a guy coming in free as long as they don't block a running back, so they're always going to have to be worried about that. The next setup I showed you was a blitz. So once again, we audible the Mike blitz 3. We're going to slide right, crash out, press, blitz the slot corner, and play hard flats. You can decide what you want to do with your user right here, if you want to use a rush or if you want to maybe run over here and try to help cover on the right side of the field. That's really up to you, but this is a really solid blitz right here. So once again, just come in. You got guys coming in all over the place. I know I didn't block anybody. The next setup, you're going to press, spread, and crash your line. Put them in cloud flats again and put your outside guys in vert hooks. This is a little bit more heavy coverage over the middle of the field as opposed to the sidelines, and you're only rushing 3, so you're not expected to really get a fast block shed. But the coverage here is very solid, especially if they're running something like flood or some of these more common plays they run out of gun bunch. And then an alternative piggybacking off of this play is you can man up these outside linebackers on whoever you want. That's going to negate some of their best players. So if you notice, they always throw to their tight end. You could start manning up the tight end with one of your one-step aheads every time. And a lot of times that's going to make it pretty difficult to throw to the tight end as much as they want to. And in bunch, we know that that slot receiver on the right side is the main target on a lot of these routes, and he's the one that they look for. So manning him up is also a huge bonus. And then the final setup, of course, is the infamous double Mabel. You're going to audible the Mike blitz 3, press, shade underneath, put your outside guys in curl flats. And again, to put your outside linebackers in curl flats, double tap the D-pad to the right, choose the one you want. I'm going to choose square, and a curl flat is just left stick to the right, and then do the same thing with the other side, and that's what it'll look like. Again, you can crash your line out. You can blitz 3. You can put this guy in a QB spy if they like to roll out with their quarterback. You can put one of them in a vert hook like that, and then you can focus your user over here. You got a lot of options, but what I just went over is essentially all of the coverage shells that I use out of cover 3. And so you guys can see, even just out of cover 3, we have a lot of options of what we want to do with this defense. One thing I want to let you guys know, if you are worried about getting beat by a cover 3 bomb, For example, right now you don't have much of a risk because our safety is on the side of the bunch. So any cover 3 bomb, the safety is usually going to be able to help. But a lot of times if they flip their play, your safety might be misaligned over here. And now you see the right side of the field, you have a lot of susceptibility to getting beat for a 1-play touchdown against a cover 3 beater. What you can do is back off the outside corner on the right, press triangle. X is to do individual adjustments. On the circle receiver, that's the DB I want, and I want to back him off with the right stick. Now he's backed off, and I can put him in a deep half. Double tap triangle, choose circle, put him in a deep half. Now, again, that might seem complicated, but if we are pressed like that, I'm going to show you, that's what we looked like before. I'm going to show you how fast you can do that once you get the muscle memory down. Done. It literally took me 1 second. So when I'm explaining it slowly and you have to really think about the adjustments, it's going to take you a long time to get it down. But once this becomes muscle memory, it's literally, you can do it in the blink of an eye and you control the players on the field exactly the way you want. So I'm telling you guys, it might be a lot of adjustments, but once you start practicing, once you start getting it down, you can make all the adjustments you want in plenty of time. So in this video, I did go a little bit faster. I want to be concise and to the point so you guys can get the information you need quickly. If it is confusing to you, which it might be, and that's totally fine, leave a question in the comments. There's always people scrolling through the comments who are helping out other people in the community, and that's awesome. Additionally, if you need extra help, you can join the Discord. The Mazomatic Discord link is in my bio, and once you're in there, everybody in that Discord usually watches my videos, and if you have a question, there's going to be people in there who can help you out. So I hope you guys enjoyed part 1. Part 2 will be coming very soon, and to close out this video, we're going to be going over the best and worst comment of the day. The best comment of the day coming from Jason Crocker, who said, "Thick Latinas eat hot Cheetos. So do the girls who walk around school with a blanket over their shoulders while talking too loudly and blocking the stairwell at 7 o'clock in the morning." That sounds very, very specific, Jason. Who hurt you? And the worst comment of the day coming from LDK Lux, who said, "Maze, let me upload 5 days after my recent upload. Also, Maze drops a 10-minute video." Man, I am trying, okay? I've been streaming a lot, and it is kind of difficult to balance streaming and uploading, but I do realize I've been a little bit sparse on my uploads, so I'm trying to update the frequency, and we'll be back to some more consistent uploads. I'm sorry for leaving you guys hanging. That's on me, but part 2 coming soon. I'll see you guys there.